My crafty friends, I am realizing I did not do an intro, so welcome back to my channel. This is the process video for me putting together my 2024 Week in the Life album with Ali Edwards products. I will leave it linked down below, the first video I did with like my supplies, album, and setup, and kind of my approach. I do have a whole Week in the Life playlist, and I believe in 2021 I truly broke it down even further as to my approach and things I've done in the past. I think next year I will kind of revisit kind of breaking it down again, simply because I now have 6 years or 7 years under my belt and tons of approaches to have for it, so it's good to update that video. So I'm realizing that, like I said, I didn't do the intro. I just kind of started working and kind of recording it, which is great. That means I was in the zone, and I will happily report that I did keep up with printing photos per day with my formula from the previous video. Up until Thursday. So then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the weekend days, they kind of got away from me, and then I was just playing print catch up during the following week of Week in the Life. The week we documented, or I document, was with the community, so it was April 22nd through April 28th, and I am always thankful when it falls more in April. I think last year we did it in May, which hovered into like summer break, and I like doing it in April while we're still in what I call our normal school and work week routines and rhythms. So it was a normal school week, which was great, and the weekend was a bit festive because I picked up my niece, and my daughter and her had like a sleepover for the weekend to get some, they call it sister cousin time. Both of my cousin and I, we both have one daughter apiece, and so we borrow each other's kids monthly so that they have that sibling time together, since they are our only children, which is fun. So my formula, like I said, I stuck with it. So I needed I needed 2 definite full-size photos. I needed 3 horizontal 4x6 photos, and then 7 to 8 3x4s, and then 12 to 18 2x2 photos. And that is what my project was. Even though I'm looking at it now, the footage you're seeing now is to do the back side of that, like, in essence, 3x8 card that had morning, afternoon, and evening in the back that I sewed to acetate. Just was definitely just a scrap lift from Ali Edwards. And in these long portrait style photos, I put long style portrait photos. So one week, and you'll see them in the final flip through, which will be coming after this video. Things that were long. So that one you just saw me put down was like the front of our refrigerator. I did like her Barbie house is very just like tall looking. I did like our shoe rack for one of them because it's a very vertical looking thing in our house. So that gave me a little creativity as to what was narrow and tall for those photos. And as far as the full page photo goes, they were truly just my 2 favorite photos of the day that looked the best for having it as a full page. And I did those sitting right behind the opening, page for the day. And that worked out well as well. I will say the formula was just enough photos for most of the days. Wednesday, I had more photos because it was like a busy errand day, and I just kind of took a picture at every errand I did. And that includes everything from like food shopping to returns at Target to a stop at the library. You know what I mean? It was just like a bunch of little micro stops that I do when I'm not in the office for the morning in order to, keep our family trudging along. Picking up prescriptions, buying toothpaste, things that you run out of. So the Wednesday, when on the flip, though, you'll see that there's just an extra few page protectors, and I do also believe on Friday in the end there was an extra 1 or 2 page protectors just to accommodate the amount of photos I wanted to print. I will also say that I don't think I've done a 2x2 pocket in my previous years, and I definitely liked having that insert in here. I know I've seen a couple of albums where they've just cut off like the last row in order for it not to be the 12 per side, which is also smart in case you find yourself limiting in photo count. But those were definitely where I would say I put what I call, and I think even Laura Wanzik used the term like stock photos, like when it was just photos of stuff, like socks on the stairs and the dogs laying in their beds. They could have been for any day of the week. Those stock photos that are just part of your everyday life. That I was just able to pay attention to is I guess where I was going with those 2x2s. Because sometimes they don't make the album, I find, when there are, like, even for me, like, I'm taking pictures of of like me feeding the dogs, because for dinner I always do their kibble. I soak it down with some water. This is just me. And then I always put like a crunchy vegetable on top. So one night they got a few carrot chips, and then the other couple nights they got like string beans, and or I'll garnish it with some blueberries and stuff, just so they have some more like I guess whole foods in their diet. And so, again, I could take a picture of the dog food for their dinner, every day. And so that's where those stock photos came in to play. I also, for most of it, so for the pocket that you see on the day of the week acetate, and the card that opens up the 3x4, these are all places I kept journaling. Also, the ones that were the larger squares, kind of like a 4x4 size that said hello Monday, hello Tuesday, those I made into currently cards. So every day on my computer, I just picked like, 6, 7 currently words, loving, eating, tasting, watching, that sort of thing that was in the journal, because I love that part about the journal, and just wrote out other moments, those, how Allie calls them, those micro stories throughout the day. Were on the back of right there, the Hello Wednesday. Those backs will have those currently things. So all my journaling was done on the computer. I was able to keep up with it up until Friday on my computer. So I just had a huge Word document that I was able to then go in and just print on clear sticker paper. And the clear sticker paper I use is matte. It is by MACO, and I will say I was about to go buy another box of 50 sheets of the clear sticker paper, and MACO has gone batty. They like doubled the price of their sticker paper to $50 for it, and I'm thinking, you are crazy. So I repurchased the Avery one, which was also matte. Matte is key because you don't want it glossy, at least I find, so that it doesn't glare when you take, well, it at least matters to me, when it doesn't glare when I take project photos for my Instagram feed. So I bought the Avery one again, and not MACO. Shame on you, MACO, for trying to double your price. So here I am just putting in those 2x2s. This was also where I think I read like 3 or 4 books this week, so I was able to put what I read and completed it. And on the back side of the 2x2s, I was also able to keep some of the, I call it like ephemera for the day. I did corners of receipts, and you see like a vitamin square right there. I did. On the other page, I saw like the pasta box because we had, spaghetti. I also did like my prescription label that just said what it was, because I went to the dentist also this week, and I had to get some like sensitive, toothpaste for my teethies. And so that's what I liked about the 2x2s. I also was able to keep in the 2x2s the little banners, the acetate banners. I did get the extra set, so I pulled out numbers 1 through 7, so that is also in there. And then I also used a few of the like quote card ones. That also turned out really good in this pocket. So just different things that you can fill with it. And a few of the squares, when I really had maybe low photos that day, I was able to keep the little vellum plus sign or the heart as a see-through element, which also worked out. I think I did that on 2 days, where maybe my photos, I didn't take as many, which is not a bad thing either, to have a little see-through element. You'll also see that my everyday photo, I think I mentioned it, like one week I did where I stand, one week I had done something that, like my feet pictures and stuff. This week, and here's all my journaling. See, I kept up with it. I was so good. This is on the sticker paper, so you'll see me kind of put all the things. And what I did for my journaling, and I'll go back to my story I was just saying, was it is kind of in a sequential order from the card in the front to the 4x6 card that was kind of the last sheet. So that way it does kind of read as the day went on, is the only thing I think I paid conscious attention to, and then the currently card. So back to the thing. So for this week, I couldn't decide which was the repeating photo to do every day. So I did 2 batches of it. I did where I had my coffee every morning. So I had a different cup. Actually, most of them were a different cup. And then what I just wanted to take a picture in the house. So, one picture was in the kitchen, one picture was like in the living room. So that was repeating, and you'll see me kind of stamping that out soon. And then I also did Valentina and her little school uniforms, because she grows so much. And so I did the same photo every morning with her in her uniform in front of our garage doors before we hopped in the car. And so I have our whole week of her outfits. And then will say I have to go back and add in a Saturday photo, because she just had worn like, play clothes to go pick up her cousin. And I didn't take a photo that day, and then we went to the pool and everything else, and so the day got away from me from taking it. And then Sunday happened, and I did remember again at night or in the afternoon, and I took one. So that happened. So right now I would say that I'm missing a photo, so, and that happened, and I'm just going to take it this week and plop it in there for Saturday, and I'll be happy with that, because at least it'll just still show her growth. Because if I do that, say, next year as well, she'll be taller, she'll change. Maybe she'll have short hair. Her hair's really long right now. So these are the things. And what I will say overall, I do, even for this one, I'm glad I do this project. And for anyone else that's ever on the fence for doing it, I highly encourage it, because you may think your life doesn't change and everything stays the same, but I assure you there are things that do change up. And I am more thankful even for the first year, where I felt like my first year album doesn't have that many photos. I probably did maybe 1 or 2 page protectors per day. I didn't even use Ellie products. I just used like a kit from Simple Stories probably, and just so that it was cohesive. And she was a newborn in that first album, and things do change, even though I just say I'm still just a mom and I do all the same things for her. But the newborn phase with formula and cleaning bottles and, strollers and car seats is very different than what my 6-year-old life, having a 6-year-old life, looks like right now. And so just document your life. I think half the reason I think while you're here and while you are my subscriber is because I do encourage you to document. Your story is worth saying, documenting and having, because I bet you when I am older and stuff, Valentina will just love looking back on this. And I think we do it. Yes, we do it for ourselves, but I also feel that there's a huge component where we do it to sort of leave our mark, not to get sentimental, but one day I won't be here, but she'll have all these albums and moments where she sees me playing with her, learning Battleship here, and I'm coloring, and we do a diamond painting together. And I think that is something that she'll cherish, I know, like in the future. And I'm getting all sentimental, but just memory keep in whatever format that might look like. Even if you do this in a journal, or if you do it just in a simple classic, photo album you picked up at Hobby Lobby, a journaling card and some photos, and give text to the photo is precious. Because even so, I inherited like a box of photos from my mom, but none of it has the years. None of it tells me, how old I was in that photo. I may recall like, oh, I was at a theme park in this one or something, but I don't remember the years. I don't remember anything else, and my mom didn't do the writing. So I would encourage, if you do anything, also include some of the writings, even if it's the bare who, what, where, when text. It's valuable years from now, and you'll be thankful. So here is where I was saying working on my everyday photos. So these are the coffee ones, and this set of days of the week is an Allie Edwards stamp 3x4 set from Week in the Life a few years ago. And I clearly have not used it in any project up until now, because they are unused stamps. I have to definitely get into using my stamps more. That's something to hold myself accountable, because I do love buying stamps, but I always find I don't gravitate to them quickly. I almost reach for my die cut letters first so I can cut up scrapbook paper rather than stamping. But here I am stamping, and let me tell you, I tried this was also a little bit of a blow up situation, because on paper, here I am doing it on paper, just underneath each cup, making them look like a little bit of Polaroid, no problem. Here I am right now trying to use StazOn ink, and I must have either the oldest, driest StazOn, because you can see in that upper right hand corner, Monday didn't even show up really on the photo. Tuesday looks a little bit better. Is there a re-inker for StazOn, or do I need to just buy a new StazOn ink pad? Because man, I was definitely struggling, because I was just stamping it on the photo for her uniform days, and then on paper under the cup for the coffee cup days. And I was trying to stamp, obviously use it once without wiping it, like Monday, let me stamp it for my coffee cup, and then let me re-ink it with StazOn and stamp it for the other photo. And let me just say, even the rest of the photos for her photo, and I'm going with it, like Thursday, completely smudged, and along with Sunday. Am I going to reprint the photo? Absolutely not. We're whirling with it, I decided, I looked at it and I was like, oh great, now I just smudged all of the ink on Thursday, and then I did it again on Sunday, and I was like, that's the way it's going in the pocket. That's where we're at. We need to wrap this up. So yeah, and you, if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm a completer. You know, at this rate, this is like the last stretch of the project. Man, I am looking to get this done. I am a completer, even if things are smeared. It's complete. We're done. Oops, it got smeared. That's the way it's gonna look when you flip through this years from now. I smeared it. So but at least it's done. And like I said, I am more of a completer. It would give me such probably high functioning anxiety knowing that I don't finish them and have it still like pending, and then, you know, doing it like, you know, next year, a week before we start the next one. My brain, I would not. I would be a mess. So if when you're here, you know, if you're a longtime subscriber, I complete it. And towards this last stretch, it may not be perfect, but it's getting done. And I am a-okay with that sometimes. That is just where it has to be. So then on the back side of the, you can see I'll have the white side of the photo because they're sitting there. And I didn't want to go print, this is me, I didn't want to go print any more photos and go through my camera roll, like what else could I use? I simply fill it with pattern paper. I have the Ali Edwards Rainbow Scrapbooking Kit, and since the letters for Monday for the kit were in essence rainbows too, I thought it was perfect. So you'll see me getting scrapbook paper to back these shortly. But this is, you know, a tip for you too. Sometimes it's better to complete it and get it done, even with the mistake of a smudged inking, than still, what I want to say, like still dwell on it for not being perfect and wanting to go back and print it. No, I'm not reprinting it. So since, you know, when you do the days of the week, that's 7. See, and that's right where I smeared. That's right. You saw my little fizz. That was right when I smeared it. It was not dry. And then I'm cleaning inside the protractor, and then I do the one underneath it for Sunday, and I smeared it again. And I was like, ah! I should have left my voiceover here where I like probably grunted and squealed like, no. So since there's only 7 days of the week and there are 8 openings for photos, I made the last one a shaker pocket right there. So I am using, it's Carnival sequins from Spiegelmom Scraps. I use the entire pack. And I'm off screen right now sewing it. And I come back and I just did a white stitch to sew it. Sometimes I find sewing is the easiest for shaker pockets, in my opinion, simply because any kind of double-sided tape, red line tape, glue, staples, you know, you see it all, and I just think a stitch across the top is the easiest thing, and so there I have a little shaker pocket. I actually have 2 shaker pockets in my album, so that's super fun. And so we're winding down here. Like I said, I'm in the home stretch. Here's pattern paper going in. We're getting it done. We're finishing this today. We're at the finish line tie. You've got this. So that is my encouragement to you. You got this. Get it done and fill those pockets and complete it. Okay, so I know I didn't do it on camera, but I made my cover exactly like Morgan Beal's. So the little us, and this is the week, it's on a clear piece of transparency. And then I cut out our photos from, I made them 3x4s and then used my 2.5-inch hole punch to get them. And then I added our ages, 41, 42, 6 from this little alpha sheet. They were just tiny enough to make it work. I'm just waiting for these to dry, and I need to print out this last journaling. Other than that, everything is done. But for the video, I will leave it as so, and I will come back to do a complete album flip through. That way it's a little separate and not making this one too long. Thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up. As always, it helps my channel. And until next time, bye.